Namaste. It's the Spiritual Daywalker, hashtag Schrodinger's cards, with your tarot card reading for the next new moon phase from 30th of May until 14th of June. So, Cancer, are you ready to face the truth? This new moon is in Gemini. It is about truth and communication. You are very, very much in the energy of owning your truth. That is very beautiful. And you like to go deep, of course. I mean, like, you're the water sign, right? Cardinal water sign. So, of course, you want to go deep into that emotion. Also, your emotional capability. Owning your truth. That's what you're all about right now. Communicating. That is something different, though, right? Communicating your truth. Like standing your ground in the face of some fire energy or whatever. That could be just the challenge that you're going through right now. Because new moon is a reset, right? It is resetting the way you go about whatever energy is present. In this case, it's Gemini. So it's about truth and communication. So that being said, it's a general reading. If the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop it. If it does resonate, drop a comment, drop a like, and subscribe. I don't do love readings. If love comes up in a reading, and it most likely will because you're a Cancer, then that's on you, right? I don't want you to project something into your reality because life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hence the hashtag Schrodinger's cards. It is a mirror of your energy, the energy you're coming out of, the energy you are in right now, and the energy you're moving into. That is going to shed some clarity on how to go about this, how to prepare you for the future. So let's see. Get right into it. You're coming from a King of Coins. Oh, Cancer, you being all earthy and stuff. Just knowing where to invest your time and energy, right? Creating something in your life and knowing that you're worthy of it. Wow, Cancer, that is some beautiful energy to come out of. It's like there is that sense of stability within yourself to be able to create that stability in your life in the future, right? So right now, you are in the Knight of Swords in reverse. So there is some truth unspoken. And that's where I think, like, you know the truth. You accept nothing but the truth. However, communicating that truth is, well, it's a different thing, right? So probably someone needs to listen close to you, and you got to make them listen. That is very interesting. You're moving into the Two of Swords. That's cool. The Two of Swords, well, it is about, well, protecting your heart, basically, right? So you want to go with your intuition, right? But it's also holding on to mindsets that you use to protect your heart. So there is a little bit of coping mechanisms there. So just with this Two of Swords, moving into that Two of Swords, be aware that you don't want to get stuck in some old mind patterns, right? Some like ideas like, yeah, well, they're not going to understand anyway, so why bother telling them, right? No. That's that Knight of Swords in reverse. It's like you know the truth, but you're unable to speak it, communicate it. But you're moving into the Two of Swords, meaning that you're taking your mindset to the next level, but there is like that danger of using old coping mechanisms, outdated mindsets to protect what it is you're feeling. Because you're a Cancer, underneath all of this earth and air energy, there is water, right? It is you, Cancer. So it's like, be aware. The overall energy for the reading is the Empress. Oh, that is a beautiful energy to be in. The Empress, because she knows she's right. She knows about her insight, about the value of her insight. It's divine feminine energy. And you're owning your divine feminine energy. As a Cancer, as a moon, basically, like, that is your role. Is you have the profound insight about the depths of reality, about the depths of like human emotion, right? You know that stuff. And you're owning your truth right there. Look at her. And she's looking into the future right there. The thing is, you're learning through that Knight of Swords in reverse and that Two of Swords to communicate it like that. The Empress, well, she doesn't have to talk much. She just has to make herself known at the right points, like at the right in the right moments, right? So you're basically learning how to own that divine feminine energy right there, and that is really freaking beautiful, really beautiful. Let's clarify and see how we're coming from that King of Coins into the Two of Swords. That's going to be interesting. Five of Wands in reverse, Knight of Cups, and the King of Swords. Very freaking interesting. So in your past, that King of Coins is clarified by the Five of Wands in reverse, which kind of means conflict of interest or coming out of that conflict of interest, right? That is very interesting. So there was a conflict of interest. You moved past it. The only thing that is kind of crossing that energy is that you didn't want it to work out the way it did. Like the Five of Wands conflict is kind of resolved, but something about it is not to your liking, and you're working through that emotion. That Knight of Cups is kind of, well, looking back in that sense right here, like look at his eyes, he's kind of reminiscing. It's like, okay, what could have been, I do have to believe it's for the greater good, right? He's trying to own his emotions, but he is owning his emotions, and that because like he's right side up, it's perfect, right? But he's crossing that Five of Wands in reverse, which is actually like you've been struggling with this conflict, coming out of it, and it left some emotionality you had to deal with, but you're dealing with it. You're dealing with it fine, because you know it was all about that King of Swords. Like the truth had to come out and it had to be spoken. So that's very freaking cool. And it's all clarifying that King of Coins, like you being grounded in your reality and you being you, right? And your own emotionality, like feeling proud of yourself, or feeling stable within yourself, which is tough for a Cancer, right? To be grounded. And it seems like in the past you learned your lesson of how to ground yourself in a moment of conflict, stay on top of your emotions and own your truth with that King of Swords right here. Now I'm very much interested how that Knight of Swords in the current energy is playing out. Six of Cups in reverse, Six of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So Six of Cups in reverse means that, well, still a little nostalgic about how things played out. Still like, yeah, but it felt so good in the beginning, and it's like, so what do we do now with this? Like, why didn't it work out like that? I wanted it to work out, right? So the Knight of Swords in reverse is basically about you accepting a truth that you know it's the truth, but, well, it left you a little, not discontent in that sense. You're accepting it, right? And there's that Six of Swords crossing it, so you know your mindset is progressing, you're moving on from something, generating a new mindset around something, around the resolving of this conflict, from coming from the Five of Wands to the Six of Cups. It's like the conflict is resolved, but you're still looking back a little on what it stirred up emotionally within you, and there's something you need to be true about, but you're moving, because there's that Knight of Wands. You're moving for your passion, and you're kind of accepting that this passion is something different than what you thought in the past. See, like this King of Swords, owning the truth, is looking towards that Knight of Wands, which is like, okay, you know what you want and you're going for it, even if you thought in the past it was something different that you want, but it flipped on you, and now you're going with it. You're owning that truth, even if it's not as easy to accept with this Knight of Swords. And it's maybe not easy to make a move right now, right? That's why maybe this energy is just delayed, because there's that Six of Swords that you got to take care of before. It's like you're rearranging your mindset, and maybe you're even moving to a different place to rearrange your mindset. Like Six of Swords is a card of travel, but it's just going to another place mentally, maybe physically, but at first mentally, right? There's something you're changing about the way you think about things. It's like, okay, that didn't work out as planned, but I'm kind of on top of my emotions because I know the truth is worth it, right? So what now? Yeah, well, you're moving out of passion. You're just a little slow moving right now, but it's okay, right? The Empress, she is slow moving. She's not moving at all. She's attracting, right? So you are moving though into that Two of Swords energy right here. And yeah, there's an Eight of Cups. An Eight of Cups means let go of what's not serving you, what's not making you feel good. Whatever it is that is not making you feel good, you got to walk away from it. And clarifying this Two of Swords, it is about mindsets that do not make you feel good. For example, being overly cautious. Yeah, but if I do this, then it could backfire. Yeah, well, that's a mindset that is not exactly divinely guided, right? That's like a very cognitive mindset. So it's a coping mechanism that you don't need anymore because you're stepping into your truth. You want to activate that Knight of Wands right here because you know what it is you want to go for. Now you need a way to go for it, and there's still some mindsets in the way, but you're learning to listen to your Empress, to your Divine Feminine, for example, through letting go of these bullshit emotions right here. If you know if it's not making you happy, you're moving away from it. That is good, and it's clarifying the way you think about things. So if a thought is just stirring doubt within you, ask yourself, is that thought actually worth entertaining? Or do I fuck myself over with this? This is just some residue from old thinking, some stinking thinking from old mindsets that you actually already shed because you're coming from that King of Coins, right? You already shed. You're working on your money mindset. You're working on your idea of self-worth, on what you deem important in life. You've been working on it. Like being able to stay in that Knight of Cups and that King of Swords energy, which can be represented through people, but you're working through a situation of a Five of Wands right there. That's where you're coming from. And in that Five of Wands, you maintain the King of Coins energy. That is strong, especially for a Cancer, right? You're not floating away. You're grounding yourself in that truth. That is very freaking beautiful. So all these mindsets that make you feel shitty, they're just a residue from old stinking thinking that you don't need anymore. And that Two of Swords, yeah, it wants you to rethink those mindsets whenever they not feel right. Crossing this is the Ten of Cups. Interesting. Why is the Ten of Cups crossing the Eight of Cups right here? Let me pull one more. The Page of Cups. There's a new beginning in love coming in. You just gotta, be aware of, leaving behind old thought patterns and feelings, right? So it's like, whatever doesn't feel right, leave it behind. Even if it's like a beautiful Page of Cups that is offering you a new beginning in love, whatever, if it doesn't match your idea of fulfillment with this Ten of Cups right here, it's probably not worth entertaining, right? So it could be that some relationship or a love offering is coming in that is just not cutting it yet, right? Like if you want to show up right. Because I'm coming from the King of Coins. I'm a Cancer. I'm owning my truth, right? I'm coming from that King of Coins, and I know I got my issues, but if what this new offering in love is bringing in is not the Ten of Cups, well, then I got to move away from it. Then it's the Eight of Cups, right? Then I got to move away from it. Just be aware that it's all clarifying the Two of Swords. So maybe your idea about what your Ten of Cups is shifting, right? So you thought you'd be happy with like a relationship that is like very clingy, whatever, and then you realize what's actually floating your boat is being free and trusting enough to be free, right? So you need a relationship that is mature enough to give you that room to express yourself and whatever, right? So there can be a shift of mindset around what is fulfilling you emotionally, right? And if that Page of Cups, whatever that Page of Cups is, if a Page of Cups, like a new beginning in love, is showing up and it's giving you the feeling of an Eight of Cups, well, you're not opting for it. That's when you're owning your truth. And this is how you learn to stay in your Empress. Because she knows if it's not a fuck yes, it's a hell no. She's not accepting anything but that which is living up to her worth. She's attracting all the good shit, right? So beautiful. Very freaking beautiful. So there's a lot of love in your immediate future. And you just got to be aware that you're open enough to receive it and smart enough to evaluate, to take a good look at your feelings. If it's not feeling right, step away from it. But also be aware that your expectations around how you want to feel have changed over the past quite drastically. In the recent past right here. You've been owning your truth, standing your ground. You know there's that Knight of Wands energy, that very, like, that passion that is just making you look forward out of that Six of Cups energy, making you look forward towards the Six of Swords, a change in your mindset. And then the only thing you need to overcome, sort of, is the way you're dealing with your intuition and like you're protecting your heart with that Two of Swords right here. So there's a little residue of old mindsets that can be in the way of receiving this love, but it's also like you have to be open for it and feel it to know whether you want to feel it or not, right? Whether you have to walk away from it. And that's cool because that's the way you evaluate Cancer, right? You let the emotion run through you and then you get all carried away by it, or you're owning it and you're like, this feels off. Why do I think I need to feel like that? Maybe I'm just taking on some bullshit emotion from some youthful water energy right here that is using me as a buffer, right? Maybe I got to draw a line in the sand and just be like, well, if it doesn't feel like a Ten of Cups, it's an Eight of Cups, right? If it doesn't feel like the real deal to me, like the emotional fulfillment par excellence, right? If it doesn't feel like that, then it's an Eight of Cups. So I gotta walk away from it because it's overindulging in feelings I don't want to have, right? Also, the moment you realize you have to walk away from feelings you don't want to have, and all that is not filling your cup, that's when you open up to a Page of Cups coming in and offering you true love, right? So it works both ways. If it's not the real deal, you're cutting it out. But you have to be able to cut out what you don't love or what doesn't love you to be open to new love, right? So it's both. And that's exactly the funny thing with this Two of Swords. It is a good card for protecting your intuition, but it's also keeping you blindfolded, as the girl on the card always is, blindfolded to some other aspects of yourself you need to take care of. So just be aware, your mindset has changed, your idea of truth has changed, you're owning your truth, and then be aware there can be some mindsets that you still entertain without knowing about them, that you have to take a look at to change your mind and then, yeah, come out as strong as you've ever been. Like this is the Empress, man. Like that's divine feminine energy owning this shit. That's, you're learning to own your emotionality as a strength. That is so freaking beautiful. And that's an advice card from the universe how to go about this. Because the Two of Cups is like, yeah and no, right? And it's all clarified by water energy. It's always like, you're going to go deep into your feels and find out how you actually want to feel, and then what you want to accept and what you don't want to accept. But what to look out for now? What's the energy and the advice you need to look out for? Seven of Coins in reverse. Well, Seven of Coins is a card of evaluation, right? So don't get stuck in over-evaluating things in terms of earth energy. So yeah, has it worked in the past of giving me security, right? Has it worked in the past? Like, oh, like, for example, like, oh, you're a Scorpio, that didn't work out well in the past. You're kind of too harsh for me, whatever. Lose that mindset, right? It's like, don't get stuck in old ways of thinking that come from this Seven of Coins, because you're moving out of being overly stagnant about trying to figure out what you did wrong in the past, or what other people like did you wrong with in the past. And like this Seven of Cups in reverse, Seven of Coins in reverse is really about, don't yet think about it. With this Two of Swords, think about it, but don't think about it too long, because you get lost in evaluation, right? You're going to get lost in this, yeah, well, but it didn't work in the past, should I try it? The moment you're thinking about what worked in the past and what not, that's when you're not in your feels. But your feels actually telling you what works, right? Because you know, you're in that Empress. You are the Empress. You always know by your insight. And if it feels right, it is right. If it doesn't, it isn't. And that Seven of Coins in reverse basically says, be aware that you don't like have to be too smart about it and too like thinking too hard about it. Be intuitive about it. And that's how you dismantle that Two of Swords, how you generate some new coping mechanisms in your life, right? Change your mind about how you are deserving of feeling. Be like decisive about how you want to feel, what has changed within the way you want to feel. And then with all this analytical thinking about how to think about feelings, don't get stuck in that loop of evaluation, right? At a certain point, just make a decision on what to what to walk away from, and what ideas about feeling you walk away from. Feels right. It does feel right. This is a powerful energy. Like you as a Cancer, coming from that King of Coins and moving into just cleaning out the last pieces of old paradigms, of like the last pieces of the old paradigm in your mind. Being totally indulged in feeling, in love. Like you got the new beginning and the full cycle right on top of each other, in love, in your water energy. That is beautiful. Just own it, right? Own that feeling is the way for you to find the truth and own your truth. Because you're the divine feminine. That is massive. You're the Empress, man. Fuck. That is cool. That's some beautiful energy, Cancer. Really. That is some beautiful energy. It's going to be quite a roller coaster. But if anyone is equipped to go through an emotional roller coaster, it's you, Cancer. That's your life, right? That's exactly what your soul is enjoying the most. It's these ups and downs of the waves. There you go. You got it. It's perfect. It's really freaking perfect. And it feels like you're really closing out you made a huge change within yourself, being able to stand on top of your feelings, right? own them, and now you're able to just close out all those those mindsets that were left unattended, right? Using your intuition, not shielding it anymore, because the Empress knows she doesn't have to shield anything. She's so powerful, you know, she's so powerful, she doesn't need coping mechanisms. And that's what you're losing right now. Just a few more mindsets to change and you're there. You're like in full manifestation mode. Blah. Really nice. Cancer, if this resonated with you, let me know. I'm a Cancer myself, so it's always tough to read into your own energy, but it feels like reading for you in this format. It feels good. Like I'm not putting too much of myself in there. It feels good. And if it feels good for you too, let me know. Drop a comment, like and subscribe, and enjoy your energy. Enjoy your Empress mode. Look into the future, owning your truth. That is so powerful. I love you, Cancer.